Hey guys, Ranger One here. Welcome back to the Virtual Realms YouTube channel. I'm in this particular state of undress at the Long Beach Hatchery, and there's a reason for that. I'm at the Long Beach Hatchery because it's right next to the Blue Obelisk, which is important, and I'm in a state of undress because I'm preparing myself for the trip away from the Ragnarok map. Now, don't worry, it's only temporary. But I've been wanting to go to other maps, and in particular, I've been wanting to revisit the island for a little while. There were a couple of projects there that I never really got to complete the way I wanted to complete them. And I think it's high time that I get back there and take care of business. As I said, don't worry, we'll be back to Ragnarok and probably some other locations again in the near future. With that being said, let's take just a couple of minutes and revisit the builds that I have here on the Ragnarok map, because I think some of them are worth taking a last look at before we take our little vacation back to the island.
Now what can I do when my feeling's getting stronger? And the way that you move, I can't take it any longer. I'm addicted to you. Oh, I love the way you're looking at me. I'm addicted to you. Let me show what I got for you, girl. So won't you come along? Together we're stronger. The night ain't really over. So baby, come along. Sit back, relax, turn off your phone, and I will make you feel at home. So baby, come along. Why won't you come along? So what you say might seem a little crazy. Let's drive away. Oh, you're looking so amazing. I'm addicted to you. Oh, I love it when you're looking at me. I'm addicted to you. Ha, let me show what I got for you, girl. So won't you come along? Together we're stronger. The night ain't really over. So baby, come along. Sit back, relax, turn off your phone, and I will make you feel at home. So baby, come along. Why won't you come along? Come along now. Come along with me. Come along now. Come along. Baby, come along. So won't you come along? Come along, we're stronger. The night ain't really over. So baby, come along. Sit back, relax, turn off your phone, and I will make you feel at home. So baby, come along. Why won't you come along? Come on, baby. Come along now. Yeah, come along now. Ooh. So won't you come along? Together we're stronger. Together we're stronger, baby. So baby, come along. Baby, come along. Sit back, relax, turn off your phone, and I will make you feel at home. So baby, come along. So baby, come along. Why won't you come along? Won't you come along? Won't you come along? Won't you come along? Together we're stronger. Yeah, the night ain't really over. The night ain't over. Baby, come along. Sit back, relax, turn off your phone, and I will make you feel at home. So baby, come along. Come along. Why won't you come along?
And we're back, safe and sound on the island. It's been a long time. Well, not entirely safe and sound. We did have one minor mishap getting here, but I'll go into that at the end of the video. Suffice to say that this area is known as the Hidden Lake on the map, but I used to call it the Sanctuary. My first build that I ever created myself was down there on that ledge right next to the central lake. Even before that, the very first YouTube series that I did in ARK was with Tek. You may be familiar with his channel, and it was a Let's Play series, and he and the guys started their build up here on top of this cliff. I have some pretty fond memories of that. It was my first experience with ARK. So I'm going to go ahead and start a build up here. I need shelter and a place to base out of. And this is really an ideal location. It's very easy to keep predators out of this area up here. There's only one way up unless it's a flyer, and you don't have to worry about flyers in this area too terribly much. So I'm going to go ahead and gen up some basic equipment, pick a location, and start my build. I'll come back to you here just as soon as we get a good start. Whoa. Okay, now we've got the basic floor plan laid out for what will hopefully be a nice, cozy, small cottage for me to take my rest in. Nothing too fancy, just a split-level bungalow with adjoining patios and a rear garden area. We'll see how it turns out. This is probably going to change a lot before all is said and done. Anyway, let's throw up some walls and see what she looks like. Now the bulk of the outer walls are in place, and I'm starting on the roof. I decided early on that I was going to go with Eco's Stable Structures and Decor mod, mostly because she updated it not too terribly long ago and gave us some variety in the wall textures available. Normally the wood looks great, but now we have a brick texture that we can use, and it has a nice warm feel to it. And I always have like the glass and other fittings in this mod. And the roof has a nice copper look to it that I think will be perfect for this build. And we're back one more time. This little cottage is really starting to come together now. Well, some folks might say it's not really a cottage. They might argue that it's more of a split-level manor house. But really, that's just semantics, and that's okay. I'm always up for semantics. Rough crowd tonight. Well, the one thing I'm a little unsure about is this platform. It's taken from the SteamPunk mod. It's kind of handy. I'm just trying to decide if the coppery hue of this platform matches the roof well enough to keep. I'll put something out here even if I don't use this, because frankly, the view from this platform is magnificent. This time around, I'm going to try and refrain from building down in the sanctuary proper as much as possible. I would like to keep the spawning of plant and animal life down there functioning as normally as possible, with a few additions here and there. The surrounding cliffs, on the other hand, well, all bets are off as far as they're concerned. I don't want to mess up the beautiful scenery here, but, well, it's going to be awful hard to keep my mitts off of them. We'll see how it goes. Let's duck inside for just a minute, and I'll give you a quick look around. There's not a lot to see in here just yet, but, well, you'll get the general idea. Here's the main area. The main entrance is down there to the left. I kind of wanted it at a lower level than the rest of this floor. Over here, well, I haven't decided quite what I'm going to do with it yet, other than the aquarium staircase, which I decided to use, which comes from the Pimp My Home mod. It just so happened to have all of its levels perfectly positioned for the various levels that I wanted to put into this build. Now if we take a minute and run upstairs, I'll show you the rear exit to this house. It opens up onto the roof, which I've left flat at the back of the build on purpose. It'll be a good place to land flyers on, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to put a hatch in there or not, to allow them access to the rear part of the build. You notice how deeply shadowed everything is up here? The canopy is so tall that even up here on top of this cliff, this area receives very, very little direct sunlight, and that's something that I'm going to have to keep in mind when I design the lighting system for the house inside. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty dim in there, and I don't want to do that to you guys. This will likely be a balcony overlook, and I didn't realize it before, but it even has a good view from up here. Depends on how much clutter I put in the way down below, though. I've put a ring of glass around the top to allow in as much light as is humanly possible, and I'm still toying with the idea of a few skylights here and there. We'll see on that one. Now this upper balcony, well, I've been toying with ideas for it. It will probably be some sort of lounge, although I think a library might go nicely up here. And we'll see how space works out. And then of course another entrance back down to the main level. The area in the back of the house is going to end up being either a work area or possibly smaller Dino storage, so I can keep some of my mounts inside. And this is going to empty out onto a deck, possibly a deck / garden area. It's a little bit rough out here. I'll have to see what I can do about that. And if I do put a deck out here, it's probably going to swing around this side of the house. I've got a little overhang already set up so I can put a rear entrance in here as well. I haven't gotten that far yet, but give me time. As I said before, having the main entrance to the house at a lower level was intentional. If anything comes crashing through that glass, that may buy me a few seconds to react. And this is the one and only easy way down off of the top of this bluff. I'll clear out these trees. I may even pave it a little bit. We'll have to see. But it eventually meanders down and will empty out onto this canyon that goes off to the right. It's one of the 3 main entrances to the sanctuary area proper. You know, I like to amuse myself with the thought that this whole sanctuary area is an ancient meteor strike back when the Ark was first being constructed. I have absolutely no reason to think that's true, but it amuses me more than thinking that the map designer for Wildcard just decided to plunk a hole in the middle of nowhere and see what happened. Oh, you know what? This is the first time I've looked at the build from down here. That's a whole lot more understated than the armed fortress that Entek and the crew built. I kind of like it. Oh, hi, boys. Yes, 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 your world is going to change soon. Hopefully for the better. I had forgotten how pretty sunset was on the island. Yep, I think the brick is going to work out just fine. Thanks, Eco. We always appreciate your updates. Let me take a minute here and adjust the gamma back down a little bit. I had it cranked. There we go. You'll recall a little while ago I said that my journey back to the island was not without mishap. When I first attempted to load the island after leaving Ragnarok, I experienced a technical glitch. The game didn't want to load. And I tried a few different solutions, but, well, the truth was I have so many mods that I run on this, and many of which have been added and removed. Many of them were active when I was last here, and now they're gone. Well, suffice to say that I managed to corrupt my save file for all the builds that I had here on the island. I only had a couple of 3 that were worth mentioning, but, well, they were rather extensive. But now they're gone. And that's okay. My personal philosophy when playing Ark has always been that the joy comes in the doing, not in the having. So I will quite happily start over again, building on a fresh, clean map. I do have to admit, though, Some of those builds were fairly extensive, and I'm a little sad that they're gone. But fortunately, thanks to this channel, I've got a video archive to remember them by. We'll take a quick look at that as the end credits roll, but before I let you go, I just wanted to say thanks for sticking with me through thick and thin, and I hope you enjoy this little adventure here on the island. We have a lot of new players that have started to play ARK recently. Most of them will be starting out here on the island, and I wanted to come back here and give them some ideas that they can play with themselves. I hope you understand. I'm going to let you go now, and until I see you again, good hunting.